Guernsey, Ratus.
The longest in the heat, even though it has been chopped down to fit in the boot. The chassis from an old desk, its forward-facing spikes and battery-driven flail are dangerous. It'll dent a few hopes, that's for sure.
Hi, I'm Gary. This is Rick. This is our robot, Ratus. It's called Ratus, which is the Latin name for the common rat. As you can see, it's quite common. It sustained some injuries previously in other fights when it came from Mesopotamia in the 11th century, went across Europe in the 14th century, killed 25 million people, and now it's here at Robot Wars.
From Kent, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
They describe their weaponry as gnashing jaws, crushing jaws, lift you up and dismember jaws. Cool, they got off jaw this team. They say it took 6 weekends to build and 6 months talking about it.
I'm Mike Reed of Team Ixion. This is Robin, who's our driver, and Andy, and this is our robot S.M.I.D.S.Y. We've called it S.M.I.D.S.Y. because it stands for Sorry Mate, I Didn't See You. We're motorbikers, and if you get knocked off by a car, the first thing the driver says is, Sorry Mate, I didn't see you. We've made S.M.I.D.S.Y. so it'll be flippable, run either way up, and we've got the jaws so that we can change them. We can go under another robot, over the top of it, depending on which way up we are.
Roboteers, stand by.
Ratus from the 14th century. What's that all about? Gary Pike and Richard Ozanne, his teammate, and S.M.I.D.S.Y. there. With the driver, Robin Bennett, in control. When it opens its jaws, S.M.I.D.S.Y. looks like a giant, great big black and red clothes peg, I think. But it's Ratus on the attack. No gnawing jaws, but there at the back, the flail. There's Robin Bennett at the controls of S.M.I.D.S.Y. Spent 6 months touring Australia by motorbike. They're all big bikers in the team. And how annoying is it when a car driver says to you, a biker, yeah, I didn't see you, mate. Now, it's Ratus just gnawing away at S.M.I.D.S.Y. once again, pushing him in towards the CPZ. Don't forget, once you've been pushed into a CPZ, the house robot can grab you. Let's have a look at this moment again. Ratus up and over S.M.I.D.S.Y. and bouncing healthily away. Again, the little push. You can see there, the tactic being used is to push towards the CPZ. Kilolot's waiting for anything loose. Ratus, the more aggressive of the two so far. Onto the arena spike, which has become such a feature of this series. And really, S.M.I.D.S.Y. doing very little attacking work. It's all Ratus, and eventually, I'm sure, he's just going to push S.M.I.D.S.Y. in towards the CPZ. It'll get there in the end. Bouncing around. It's dead metal awaiting. Can't come out of the CPZ to gather a robot unless it's on the fringe. S.M.I.D.S.Y. low enough to avoid the pincers of dead metal. Robin Bennett trying to get S.M.I.D.S.Y. on the attack, perhaps. Needs to. In comes Ratus with one drive. Poised to come in with another. Slam it. Oh! Ratus in trouble. Slammed against dead metal pincers, and the body shell almost came flying off. There you see, separated from the main frame, the chassis made from an old desk, and off comes the fur-covered alloy shell. And now, onto the flame pit as well. So, trouble here for Ratus. What on earth is that underneath the top part of the jaws, if you like? Gary Pike looks bemused. A little twitch from him, and also from the front of the rat. And was he caught in a rat trap there? Well, there's still life in Robin Bennett in his team. A little tug on the beard of Andy Pugh there on the right. Now the circular saw of dead metal slicing into the top of S.M.I.D.S.Y. It's going to be quite close, this, in the end, unless S.M.I.D.S.Y.'s pushed towards the pit! Get in! Pit! Yes! S.M.I.D.S.Y.'s finished. I think Ratus deserved it in the end.
And seat number 4, Panic Attack.
Don't panic! This is a sturdy machine protected by bulletproof fiberglass. Under 80.6 kilos, the heaviest in the heat. No blades or knives, but forks, electrically powered, can raise hopes. Champions of the second series, but in the third wars, they beat Axios, Toe Cutter, and Exterminator, and looked good until Firestorm beat them in the semis.
Hello, we're Team Panic Attack. My name's Kim Davis, this is my son Michael, and this is Christian, and this is our robot Panic Attack. We're back from the previous wars with a new chassis. We have skirts to stop other robots getting underneath. We have our self-righting mechanism. We have our weapon, which is very powerful. We've done it before, and we're going to do it again.
From Western Supermare, Overkill GTI line.
Goes into overdrive with the power from caravan winch motors, protected with the same insulation used in race drivers' overalls, to the same specs as nuclear power stations and space travel. Get into orbit in Series 3? No, they didn't even get past the first round. 101 were too destructive for Overkill. Now they're GTI, can they go one step further?
My name's Lawrence, this is Laurie, and this is James, and this is Overkill. From the last wars, we had a weapon which was a petrol chainsaw. This year, we have pneumatic rams, 2 of, which combined give 7,500 newtons. This should be enough to throw another robot clean into the air.
From Maidstone in Kent, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
The name means, sorry mate, I didn't see you. The power from 2 motors, the wheels from go-karts. The jaw weapon is operated by a luxury car seat actuator, but in the last series they had radio signal problems. That meant they went out to Ratus. Despite looking good, promising, it was the end for S.M.I.D.S.Y.
Hi, I'm Mike from Team Ixion. This is Robin and Andy and his S.M.I.D.S.Y. Upgraded from the last war. We've got titanium side panels instead of aluminium. We've lowered the gearing so it'll steer better. The jaw motor is powerful enough to lift another robot up while we're pushing along. We can run right way up or upside down. We've got spikes on the back to do extra damage. Called S.M.I.D.S.Y. Sorry mate, I didn't see you. If you're a biker or a cyclist, you'll know exactly what happened.
Roboteers, stand by.
Overkill, GTI, Laurie Burke with the fair hair and James Ewell at the controls. Laurie's dad, Lawrence, watching on from the audience. S.M.I.D.S.Y. The internet team there at the controls, Robin Bennett with the glasses, and Panic Attack with Kim Davis. Very good driver, and the 2 boys, Michael Davis, his son, and Christian Bridge.
3, 2, 1.
Young Christian actually won a competition to take part in the Panic Attack team and nudged there on Overkill immediately from the front lifting forks. We've seen them before in the wars. Now on the attack on Overkill again was S.M.I.D.S.Y. and look at the damage caused here to the arena floor. A great chunk taken out. Please replace your divots, Overkill GTI. Trying to get back in favour with the judges on the attack on Panic Attack and also on S.M.I.D.S.Y. Don't forget S.M.I.D.S.Y. can run upside down. Panic Attack wedging Overkill against the side spike now. That's a good attack by Panic Attack. As I said before, Kim Davis is one of the most respected drivers in the wars. Here he is, nudging S.M.I.D.S.Y. Overkill still wedged on the arena wall. In comes Matilda. Overkill going nowhere at this moment in time. Lifted up by Panic Attack. Tremendously powerful, those forklifts. Overkill a little bit fortunate to get away. Still alive, S.M.I.D.S.Y. meeting the sandwich there, and flipped over, that won't bother them. Overkill away from the flame pit, little lick of flame there, but they're okay. Overkill, and don't forget, they are inflammable, they tell us. The motor's rewound with Teflon and Nomex insulation. Overkill trying to use its Streamek on the arena sidewall to get away. I'm not too sure if they can for all the insulation. They're stuck, aren't they? Panic Attack, a little nudge. Down comes Overkill. Wee bit fortunate to get away there. From the controls, the bearded Mike Reed looking out. This is Overkill onto the arena wall, and Dead Metal coming in, and the circular saw blade comes down now onto Overkill GTI. Panic Carbonate and steel body at the moment withstanding that pressure. S.M.I.D.S.Y. pushes away. Panic Attack, where they simply reversing to come in with another slam on S.M.I.D.S.Y. Panic Attack doing all the aggressive work here. If you had to pick the most troubled robot of these 3, I'd go for Overkill. They're being pushed against the arena wall right now, down towards the CPZ, the corner patrol zone. Don't forget that's where the house robots live. You go in there, they can attack you. And that's Killalot nearly attacking S.M.I.D.S.Y. again. Overkill is one of those tyres been punctured. They seem rather lopsided. Get into the hard shoulder, boys. Call out one of the rescue services. I think you're going to need them. Panic Attack. A bit of a tug of war with S.M.I.D.S.Y. They've been impressive so far with Robin Bennett, a computer controller, computer programmer at those controls. Now this is Panic Attack just away from Sergeant Bash, away from the arena wall, and that's the first time we've seen the S.M.I.D.S.Y jaws operated, and it goes to the judges. Very close for all three teams. There they are, they'll deliberate. We'll count up the marks for style, control, damage and aggression. What clues have you got? Well, that's Overkill being slammed against the arena wall. S.M.I.D.S.Y using the jaws very late on. Gonna be close, isn't it?
Well, the judgment's in, and it's over and out for Overkill.
Stand by.
That's S.M.I.D.S.Y, slightly the smaller of the two. There's Mike Reed on the right-hand side, all smiles, and Agrabot too. Don't forget, they have that hydraulic zonker bob on the right at the controls. And what's for sure, for the Leach brothers, it won't be a hair-raising experience. Let's be honest about things. Agrabot 2 on the right-hand side. Now on the left of your picture as S.M.I.D.S.Y comes in on the attack side by side. S.M.I.D.S.Y away from the flames. Whoa, a lick of flame to the top there, burning paint. And graphics charcoal effect now on the top of S.M.I.D.S.Y. Sorry, mate. Didn't see you there, says Agrabot as it turns away. S.M.I.D.S.Y with a little bit of a broadside on Agrabot. S.M.I.D.S.Y has the jaws operated by the car seat actuator. Agrabot 2 has the hydraulic zonker, the little punch, but it's at the other end of the machine as it comes in on the attack now with the lifting nose cone. Trying to get in underneath S.M.I.D.S.Y, that'll be difficult. It's got a 1-inch adjustable ground clearance, S.M.I.D.S.Y, and they ram Agrabot 2 against the arena side. Well, don't forget Agrabot capable of beating Razor in the last wars, and Razor, a phenomenal machine. But it's S.M.I.D.S.Y here doing all the work. Mike Reed to the left-hand side. Robin Bennett's actually at the controls right now. Andy Pugh, the weapons operator. And it's S.M.I.D.S.Y here on top of this heat semi-final for me. Again, slamming in underneath Agrabot. Agrabot, the little piggyback coming down onto the arena floor, over the flame pit in the end. So that's good style and control and aggression from S.M.I.D.S.Y. They're on top. Should this go to the judges? I'm sure of that. Although the judges are a lot brainier than I. They have all the university degrees. I can but read and write sometimes. This is S.M.I.D.S.Y now with a little slam on Agrabot again. In towards the CBZ. The Agrabot boys trying to crane their neck and have a look at it. And Agrabot on fire, it seems. As the fire burnt itself out. In comes Sergeant Bash with the crumpling jaws. Agrabot finished here. The sweat on the brows of the Leach brothers, Peter, Bob and John. And they know their dream has come to an end. They're on the floor flipper. Look at that carnage, stuffing being ripped out of Agrabot, quite literally. And it's the end for Agrabot on the arena floor flipper. Just about nudged away by dead metal, but it's tattered and torn, sliced, diced. No luck with the throw of the dice either for Agrabot today. What on earth is that sort of stuffing in there in the nose cone? Looks like foam rubber. Can't be, surely they wouldn't have stuffed that in there. It is, you know, I think. Well, they're out, Agrabot 2. Disappointing for them. But a very good performance, I thought, by S.M.I.D.S.Y. Underrated machine these boys have.
From Cwmbran and seed number 4, Panic Attack.
Was there a nervousness about the number 4 seeds from Wales?
Maidstone in Kent, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
There's certainly a confidence about these boys. Andy Pugh, we heard him speak a moment ago from Sheffield University. He's in the engineering department.
Stand by.
That's Panic Attack. With the front lifting forks, Kim Davis, his son Michael and Christian Bridge. And S.M.I.D.S.Y. There on the right-hand side, Mike Reed. Andy in the middle, Robin Bennett on the left-hand side. He'll drive the machine.
2, 1, activate.
Once built inflatable helicopter blades, Robin Bennett. Yeah, we'll try and work that one out. This is S.M.I.D.S.Y. on the attack, straight away. Against the number 4 seeds. They've got those new skirts down the side in this series to stop other robots getting in underneath Panic Attack. Improvements all the while from Kim Davis. Letting the fingers do the talking there very quickly. S.M.I.D.S.Y up and over. But again, direct, aggressive. Panic Attack wants to draw S.M.I.D.S.Y on towards an arena wall, I would suggest, so they can get in, flick him up, and over and out. At the moment, Panic Attack just holding the arena centre. I think they're trying to draw S.M.I.D.S.Y in here, Kim Davis. Now pushing towards the CPZ. There's Robin at the controls, the computer programmer. Again, driving at Panic Attack. Not even at the moment. S.M.I.D.S.Y the more aggressive. Perhaps Panic Attack the more controlled. Style, control, damage, aggression. The judges will mark on, should it go to them? Will it go to them? S.M.I.D.S.Y away from Panic Attack. It's cagey stuff. Panic Attack now in the grip. Oh, dead metal. That'll count against Kim Davis. S.M.I.D.S.Y nearly got themselves into trouble. They have a big fan club here, look. S.M.I.D.S.Y, we haven't really seen the jaws work, have we, so far? But I do think they've done ever so well. They had radio signal problems in the last series. Better this time around, but now Panic Attack. Oh, aggressive, and look! They've got the forks impaled in the wheel housing of S.M.I.D.S.Y. The wheels from go-karts, a little bit of a gap around them, and Panic Attack and Kim Davis have found that gap, and now that could be the single most decisive moment of this entire heat. Panic Attack saw the opportunity, wait for it, and poor old S.M.I.D.S.Y impaled and being dragged around the arena. And while they are dragged around, they are simply open for anything Panic Attack wants to do. The jaws open wide. You see, they're trying to get those jaws down to act as some sort of spring to right themselves. They've eventually got themselves clear anyway. I thought they had, but back comes Panic Attack. Maybe S.M.I.D.S.Y have been immobilised here. They're certainly being dragged towards the pit. I think they have been immobilised. Oh, they look so promising. But the heat final belongs to Panic Attack and not to those S.M.I.D.S.Y boys. The number 4 seeds have won it. Can our champions from the Second Wars go all the way again? S.M.I.D.S.Y stands for Sorry Mate, I Didn't See You, a team formed over the internet. Member from Kent, Sussex and Yorkshire. 4 go-kart wheels driven by 2 motors will try and gain traction on the arena floor. Shunt, a bulldozer with a rear-mounted scoop, fearsome axe.
Roboteers, stand by.
Mike Reed, Robin Bennett, Andy Pugh, S.M.I.D.S.Y
2, 1, activate.
Time along with the boys from S.M.I.D.S.Y. That's a great technique. Going to the side of Shunt, backing away. This is a very, very good sumo basho run here by S.M.I.D.S.Y. To the arena centre, eventually went off. But that's a very creditable run. Good early tactic here, going to the side of Shunt, avoiding problems. Eventually spun off, but the clock had just ticked over 14 seconds. That's a good run.
Roboteers, stand by.
What sort of tactics will they use? Go straight for the barrels? That's what everyone else has done. They'll go for the spear to put it into that illuminated pit. That'll pick them up 20-odd points. Oh, they're going straight for the bridge and up and over the ramp. We haven't seen that yet. And that'll get them 20 points immediately. Good start. Multi-ball release, another 10. Now, knocking the spear into a highlighted pit. That'll give you 25 points. Attacking the barrels. Normally easy peasy, these. What are they doing? Dancing around the barrels. Hit them, get them down. Dead metal closing. Well, that was a strange lack of direction. And I think they're in trouble. There's smoke coming out of S.M.I.D.S.Y. The paint is smeeching and smoking. Now, finally, barrels go down. But that was a muddled sort of phase there. Attacking the barrels again, 10, 15 more points. For S.M.I.D.S.Y, you need to hit the big targets, boys. Around the arena flanks. There you have one. Go on, get in there. Try and get beyond Killalot. Pick up some easy points. Can't. Good defending by Killalot. They're being frustrated here. They keep turning down blind alleys. Take on Matilda to get 50. No, Matilda's tusk's in the way. Time is running out for S.M.I.D.S.Y. Oh, it looked a good run, and in the end was disappointing. Flattered only to deceive. Great start, wasn't it? Up and over the ramp. 20 points. The first robot to succeed in that area. Then the multi-ball release, 10 more. But you see Bash thwarted one attack. Yes, the barrels, but it was all confused after that. And they ran out of velocity and ideas and points too.
From cyberspace, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
Made it to the heat final in the last series, but no further. The name means Sorry Mate, I Didn't See You. The Jaws operated by a luxury car seat actuator. They've had radio signal problems in the past.
I'm Mike, captain of Team Ixion. This is Andy on weapons, Robin the driver. This is S.M.I.D.S.Y. We've always been tenacious. This year we've got more bite. We're going to smash them up in the ring, leave them to sweep up the pieces.
From Gloucester, Pussycat.
They've beaten the formidable Razor in the past. A grand finalist in the last wars. It's the lightest in this mayhem melee, but the cutting blade means watch out for the itty-bitty Savage Kitty.
Hi, we're the Cold Fusion team. I'm Al Gribble. This is Dave, the driver, Robert, our weapons man, and this is our robot Pussycat. This is our new two-tooth blade, which will cut through just about anything.
From Leicester, Something.
Our gorgeous grunge eco-warrior team, built from bits scavenged from rubbish skips. But the Crusher axe and new circular saw could leave opponents in the scrapyard.
Hi, we're Team Tetanus. I'm Dig, this is Jeff, and this is Paul. Paul's replacing Johnny, because Johnny's lost. Paul, however, has been drafted in to help create the awesome twin discs of death.
And thrown in against them are two house robots. The flamethrower of Sergeant Bash. And Matilda, with a new weapon this time around. A 27-kilo flywheel that can rip opponents to shreds.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Don't forget, only one robot can go through to the Annihilator. If there are two or more left standing at the end of this battle, then the judges will have to decide. Certainly at the moment, S.M.I.D.S.Y. and Pussycat coming straight into the battle, something a little bit slow to come out of the traps. Bit tentative there, and I think it's in trouble straight away. Something has come straight into the battle, and you can see there, yes, the chain drive for the circular saw has come off Something. Meanwhile, can you hear that siren in the background? I'll tell you about it in a minute, but let's have a look at that chain. It's come off Something. But could you hear the siren in the background? New feature for Robot Wars Extreme. There you see the pit opened up. The siren was because one of the robots went down the arena, pressed on the yellow tyre. When you press on the yellow tyre, it's a release button for the pit of oblivion to open up, and that's what's happened. So they'll have to beware now. The ref bot comes in for a little cursory glance. That's Something. Well, the weaponry's gone. Meanwhile, S.M.I.D.S.Y. and Pussycat again. If you have to go weapon to weapon on those two teams, I'd fancy Pussycat, I must admit. This moment in time, Sergeant Bash taking on Something spinning wheels, but going absolutely nowhere. Something and nothing. Its own spike, actually, impaled on Sergeant Bash, but now free. Doesn't itself any favours, though. Matilda coming for a glance. That's what we want. All three robots crashing together, and Sergeant Bash in there as well. And Matilda, good to see. Pussycat spinning away. Something back on the attack. Has the little spike. Has the crushing arm. Slightly wedge-shaped as well. And still on the attack, Something, despite losing that circular saw. Good to see the aggression. And certainly Bash unhappy, getting spiked again. And a little blast of the flame came out. Aggression from Something here. And also from Pussycat. And S.M.I.D.S.Y. stands in the rear with its ramming jaws, can flip, can drive over attacks, upgraded mechanical ability, but for me it's Pussycat and Something doing all the aggressive work here. S.M.I.D.S.Y. dancing around, dodging, Something locked together with Pussycat. That spike, you know, is causing damage, but also, in a way, is detracting from Something. Pit, they want the robots down. Something's maneuverability hindered by its own spike, but clinging on to Pussycat, trying to cause some damage, trying to cut down through the chassis of Pussycat. There's Dig at the controls. Our eco-warrior team. Pussycat with Alan Gribble at the controls. David, his son, in the team. And Something as well. Still clinging on to S.M.I.D.S.Y. I think this may well go to the judges to decide who goes through to one of our two Annihilators. Although S.M.I.D.S.Y. seems to have lost control there. One side is going round in circles. That'll count against it. And it's teetering and tottering on the brink. And S.M.I.D.S.Y. has gone. S.M.I.D.S.Y. is out of it. So, where there were three, there are now just the two. We're into the last 10 seconds. Pussycat nudging S.M.I.D.S.Y further on down into the grave. And Pussycat and something will stand and go to the judges.
From London, Cerberus.
A metal dinosaur dog with crushing jaw, slashing claws and ramming tail. 24-volt driven top speeds of 18 miles an hour, named after the beast that guards Hades.
We are Team Cerberus. I'm Theo, this is Alex, this is Vass. This beast is Cerberus, and he's ready to tear the opposition to pieces. We are the most dangerous machine. We are so dangerous, they keep us in a cage.
From Costassy, Norwich, Norfolk, Thermidor 2.
Shaped like a lobster with claws and a flipper, pneumatic with full gas pressure, a zero turning circle, top speeds of 15 miles an hour, a series semi-finalist last time out.
We're Team Lobster, my name's Dave, this is Ian, this is our robot Thermidor 2. We're angry, we're ready for a fight, keep out of our way.
From cyberspace, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
The wheels come from go-karts, the jaws operated by a luxury car seat actuator. They've had radio signal problems in the past. Sorry, mate, I didn't see you. No, sorry, mate, I didn't signal you, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
I'm Mike, captain of Team Ixion. This is Andy on weapons, Robin the driver. This is S.M.I.D.S.Y. We've always been tenacious. This year we've got more bite. We're going to smash them up in the ring, leave them to sweep up the pieces.
From Leicester, something.
A classic, crusty, gorgeous, grungy, greasy bot built for brawling with loving tender care. Two saws replace the axe from previous wars. Is it something and nothing now?
We're Team Tetanus. I'm Dig. This is Jeff. And this is Paul. Paul's replacing Johnny, because Johnny's lost. Paul, however, has been drafted in to help create the awesome twin discs of death.
Roboteers, stand by.
So, S.M.I.D.S.Y with the low centre of gravity, and something likewise also. The controls of S.M.I.D.S.Y, Robin Bennett there on the right-hand side, Dig at the controls of something. Cerberus with the crushing beak, its formidable tag teammate Thermidor with the claws and the lifting ramp. The controls of Cerberus, Vass, and Ian Harvey driving Thermidor. And also up against them, our house robots, Bash with the long-range flame of ill fortune, and Shunt with the power bulldozer and the diamond-tipped axe as well. So S.M.I.D.S.Y starting off against Cerberus. Don't forget, the other robots cannot come into the arena unless one of these two goes to be tagged. Cerberus pushing S.M.I.D.S.Y. Find that difficult at the moment. S.M.I.D.S.Y just digging in. Robin Bennett, the robot driver, a computer programmer. And there you can see the weapon of S.M.I.D.S.Y at the back there. A 10-kilo disc running at 2,500 RPM. Oh, look at that! And shredding into the side of Cerberus. Where are they going here, though? They're bashing against their teammate something. Now, I wonder whether or not S.M.I.D.S.Y is already having control problems. On the attack on Cerberus. Cerberus moving away. S.M.I.D.S.Y here. That's a long, long run. That's too long. That's suspiciously long. I think they might have been stuck there in front drive, and they have been, and S.M.I.D.S.Y are in trouble, which is why something have come out. They weren't technically tagged. Something in the arena, though. And, of course, that is allowed now both Cerberus and Thermidor to come into the ring. We've got mayhem. And something is flicked up and over by Thermidor. They spiked themselves. Something spikes onto the arena floor, which means they can get no drive whatsoever. They're going nowhere. Well, that looked promising early on for S.M.I.D.S.Y. They got stuck, though, had remote control problems. The red box coming in, and something in S.M.I.D.S.Y here about to be counted out here. Something is spiked onto the arena floor. We know that S.M.I.D.S.Y's all in trouble already, and they're out of it. Something gone, S.M.I.D.S.Y gone. Leaving Thermidor and Cerberus to create what mayhem they want. This Thermidor flicking in underneath S.M.I.D.S.Y and onto the floor flipper. And they're about to be counted out as well. So it's all over. S.M.I.D.S.Y and something have been beaten. And Shunt and Bash, of course, can now come in and wreak havoc. Look at that. This is Shunt with a diamond edge axe. S.M.I.D.S.Y is flicked up and over. Oh, let's have a go at the underbelly now. The house robots. Bang! A dent at the be fair, the underbelly held firm. They're out there, of course, long gone. The pit of oblivion descends. The crowd want them in that pit. And they're not to be denied. Cerberus watches over the gates of hellish torture. And down goes Smithy.
From Mikolova in Derby, Obsidian.
It looks like a stealth bomber with a black carbon fibre cladding, and aircraft-grade materials have been used. The weapon is a solid titanium articulated accelerating motion axe. Now you know.
From cyberspace, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
A four-wheel drive invertible robot of tough and compact construction. The front panel includes twin fang jaws capable of a variety of offensive maneuvers.
Roboteers, stand by.
Let's have a look at S.M.I.D.S.Y, Robin Bennett at the controls, Mick Reed and Andy Pugh in there, and Obsidian, Phil Upton, Steve Coley, and little Jay Corton on the left. The house robots, Sergeant Bash once again. Look out for the pincers this time. And the cruel and rather grotesque Matilda.
3, 2, 1, activate.
S.M.I.D.S.Y on the left, seated number 24, but they've never previously been on the heat. There's the big axe coming down of Obsidian, and on full impact, that axe, they say, travels at 100 miles an hour. Doesn't look like it to me. It looks a wee bit flimsy. We've seen there the controls of S.M.I.D.S.Y, the more experienced robot, driving on against Obsidian, making its Robot Wars bow, but backing almost into Matilda there. S.M.I.D.S.Y on the attack again. And you can see already, look, damage to the black carbon fibre cladding of Obsidian. And they're in a CPZ. They're just out now, but I don't think they've got full control. They seem to be spinning very much in one direction only. S.M.I.D.S.Y backs away. Obsidian now under pressure from Matilda and Sergeant Bash as well. Are they fully under control there, Obsidian, with the electric 24-volt, 750-watt motorisation? Again, S.M.I.D.S.Y comes in on the attack, this time, of course, with the new spinning disc for Robot Wars-S.M.I.D.S.Y. Phil Upton and Steve Coley at the controls of Obsidian try and get some movement, but they're wedged in there against the side wall, pushed by S.M.I.D.S.Y, creating damage all the while. They're crumpled, they're bruised, they're battered, they're scratched. Custom designed is Obsidian, but all the design work in the world will not save you from the red box count. Down it goes, and the jaws of S.M.I.D.S.Y open in a victory grin. The red box count is complete. It's all over for Obsidian. Sergeant Bash will perform the last rites for Phil and Steve's robot. It is nudged away, I would imagine, towards the pit of oblivion. Oh no! Matilda's flywheel, look at the damage there! Smash! Rip! Tear! And let's face it, Roboteers, we love it! Matilda with a side attack, slicing through that armour of Obsidian as if it is mere paper or cardboard. Matilda wants some fun. The S.M.I.D.S.Y team look on as Obsidian, their brave Eliminator competitors, are edged towards this. If you haven't seen it before, that's what happens from the arena floor flipper.
Roboteers, stand by.
Well, they're not up against previous winners Chaos 2 yet. They're up against the Beast team there, with John Lear at the controls, and there's Robin at the controls of S.M.I.D.S.Y to the left. Shunt is in the arena. The diamond-edged axe and scoop will get you if Sir Killalot doesn't with the lance. Petrol-driven.
3, 2, 1, activate.
S.M.I.D.S.Y starting off as the favourites with their previous experience, beaten in the Heaths in Series 3 and in Series 4 by Panic Attack. No disgrace in that, but they've been pinned down by the Beast Axe. Can they spin around here, Smithy, and get that 12-kilo spinning disc into play? Shunt gets its axe onto the axe of the beast. One slam, picks it up. In underneath goes Smithy. The beast's ground clearance, 1.2 centimetres. Wedge shape with the front prongs there, exposed, beast on its side. This is all the work being done by Smithy. Great tactics as well, because they pushed there the beast into the CPZ, the corner patrol zone, and then the house robots can take over, and therefore Smithy conserves its energy for what looks like the heat final against Chaos 2, because Killalot has the beast in its grip. Out it comes, bashes down, yet they can still motor away there, 24-volt powered, the beast. As I said before, if you squint at the numbers and the letter 86452, you can see the beast's name written. Well, they're squinting now, but they're squinting in pain, and the jaws of Smithy has them. Over goes the beast. It's hardly growling, it's hardly roaring. It's a little bit of a meowing beast out there, to be honest. Oh, a spark came off there, it's on the flame pit. I certainly think it's all over for the beast now. They can't get that great scything action to play. The red bot's having a look. There's the Smithy team looking on, and the red bot starts its countdown. The pit of doom starts to descend. Smithy awaits its chance. It's all over for the beast. They're out. Smithy goes through to the heat final, and now, of course, all that's left to be done is to sweep up the rubbish. And that's what the beast has become, I'm afraid to say. Robot Wars is hard, it's cruel, it's clinical, it's cynical, and we love to see them defeated and mashed and bashed and crumpled. Go on, get it onto that floor flipper killer. No, that's not part of the script, actually. You shouldn't be getting away at this late stage. Oh, I wanted to see the beast fly.
Roboteers, stand by.
Chaos 2, hot favourite with George Francis, Ian and Richard Swan there. And Smithy, Robin Bennett at the controls, Andy Pugh, the jaw operator, Mike Reed making up the team. Sir Killalot can crush and spear. Shunt can push and demolish.
3, 2, 1.
And this is for a place in the series semi-finals. Oh, an immediate onslaught head-to-head by Smithy, but the flick got straight in there from Chaos 2 once and twice. It's invertible Smithy. It can run either way up. The jaws try and grapple Chaos 2. They can't gain any purchase. Chaos 2 awaits its moment here, it seems, to get in underneath and push very steadily towards the arena sidewall, and out it goes. Just about hanging on, but there was determination, there was style, and there was control behind that Chaos 2 attack. They flipped themselves over. Are we going to see an almighty shock here? Can Chaos 2 right themselves in time? The red bot is in there having a glance. This will be an almighty shock. You need to get going, George Francis, and right yourselves. A Smithy, meanwhile, immobilised. They were pushed steadily onto the arena sidewall, but then Chaos 2 flipped themselves up. Were they over-cocky? Were they over-confident? I think Smithy had been immobilised, but the jaws are still working there. Can Chaos 2 right themselves in time? We could be seeing here one of the greatest shocks in Robot Wars history. Unless Smithy have been immobilised, I think George Francis has been immobilised. What happens now? The judges will have to decide.
Well, what a turn up. Both robots obviously immobilised at the same time. The judges have instantly called for a rematch. Now, I agree. The Roboteers agree. So while they retake their marks, let's look at the story so far.
A rematch? It's never happened before. Chaos 2 doing all the early work. Smithy immobilised about then, and Chaos 2 also.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1. Activate.
Here we go again. This time, Smithy a little bit more cautious. Not the full frontal attack, dodging away from Chaos 2. Interesting. Will Chaos 2 once again get in underneath Smithy's ground clearance of 1.8 centimetres and push towards the arena side wall and then flick them out? S.M.I.D.S.Y turned up and over, 99 kilos in weight. Just imagine throwing that as easily as Chaos 2 are doing. Tremendous power in that flipper, and now again, you see the shove, but Killalot's in the way, blocking the way to the arena sidewalk. But S.M.I.D.S.Y just crashed down onto the edge of the CPZ, and that means Killalot can have a go again. And I wonder if S.M.I.D.S.Y have been immobilised once more. Chaos 2 with a flip, and again, Killalot gets out of the way wisely with Chaos 2 in this sort of mood. Is it inevitable? A retreat, the onslaught, and there they go. Chaos 2 march on. The S.M.I.D.S.Y boys are beaten by that man, George Francis, out of the arena once again. Are they unbeatable?
From Maidstone in Kent, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
S.M.I.D.S.Y stands for sorry, mate, I didn't see you.
OK, now we've noticed something, me and my team. You got different treads on your tyres, front and rear. Was that deliberate, or were they the only ones you could get?
Yes, there's complicated technical reasons for that.
Go on.
Which
We had 2 tyres damaged last year, and we had to buy new ones.
We thought that might do, really. Thanks, guys.
A 4-wheeled invertible design built to be tough. It has multi-purpose front jaws tipped with razor-sharp blades and a 12-kilo, 200-mile-an-hour rear disc.
From Goon Bell in St Agnes, St Agro.
Saints alive, look at this, and wait for the shirts.
Agro team, who are you most worried about?
S.M.I.D.S.Y.
Why?
You could take our tyres out.
They've got great experience, but then they've got a weighty spinning disc, which also could take your tyres off.
Yeah.
Pretty much anyone could have them.
Yeah, basically.
A double-sided, double flipper, 800-watt electric motorised, fast at 15 miles an hour, manoeuvrable, durable and strong.
From Wotton in the Isle of Wight, come and get her, Ix.
If you think you're hard enough for Ix.
This is amazing!
You've got to be well protected these days, you know.
See what you can do in your spare time with a few Coke can rings. Now you're up against S.M.I.D.S.Y, Warhog, and them next door.
Who are they?
Those shirts.
Oh yeah, the shirts are pretty,
Yeah, the shirts scare me.
Modified slightly from the last wars, has the axe and lifting beam, a 3-mech and a speed controller, which they say is working this time. That helps.
From Brough in East Yorkshire, Warhog.
Basically a big spinning disc on wheels.
Which ones would you be worried about, if you were worried about any of them?
I'm not sure, guys. What do you reckon? None of them. Yeah, you'll be it.
You're spinning round. Very quickly.
Very quickly.
How quickly?
Oh, about 500 RPM.
How quickly does Hypnogist spin?
Doesn't matter. We're much heavier.
Now, the disc has 2 blades attached, moving via a 4-wheel drive system and an actuator, which is used to lift one end to assist with steering, but it's got a very high ground clearance, I think.
Roboteers, stand by.
Let's have a look at the shirts once again. St Agro, Captain Terry Carlin, S.M.I.D.S.Y, Captain Mick Reed. And in the other pod, Common Getrix on the left, their Captain Ian Gear, and Warhog, captained by Paul Stevenson. Growlers in the arena, 450 kilos of menacing munch, and there, shunt with a bulldozer blade.
3, 2, 1, activate.
When they see the arena floor spinner in action and the spinning machine that is Warhog in a little bit of trouble already. Common Getrix's axe comes down on S.M.I.D.S.Y. Once previously reached a heat final, it was in the last wars, Robot Wars, the 5th wars. Have they improved again, S.M.I.D.S.Y? Warhog again taking some punishment. We're seeing there the Common Getrix team from behind. Now a little flip from St Agro, opening up the jaws of its flipper. Wonderful shirts, great design, the boys from Cornwall. Can they go through? Now we're seeing Common Getrix in action once again, using the big lifter against the arena sidewall. Warhog! And the arena sidewall is literally in splinters. That was the spinner of Warhog, pressurised, that did that damage there. Common Getrix with the big 100-kilo shove. Warhog again slams against the arena sidewall, so we know the destructibility of that spinning disc. And the blade, we know how heavy it is, but is it fully under control? St. Agnew has activated that pit release. I wonder who's going to go down. Warhog, to me, seems out of control. Oh, piggyback! Lifted up on Smithy. Where's he going to go from there? Splendid stuff. Smithy took him for a ride. Down comes Warhog once again. Warhog's totally out of control out there in the arena. Smithy doing some damage. Controls, who needs them when we've got fun like this? Common Getrix slamming back into the CPZ. What is going on out there? Do they know? I don't know. Come on, boys, get a grip. Growler certainly will. Common Getrix against the arena sidewall seems to have impaled itself with its axe. Growler thinks so. Is having a little bit of a nudge. Well, who's under control? Who's still alive here? I'll have to ask Craig. I have not got the faintest idea. Common Getrix has certainly caught its own axe. Oh, it's now frayed and it's gone into the pit. No! Very nearly. Ooh, and the crowd. Dear, dear, Warhog's almost gone in, and now finally St. Agro's bitten the dust and they've gone in. Oh, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Well, Warhog's still out there, I think. Smidsy's pushing it into the CPZ. Shunt's axe comes down. This is great stuff. Look at the eyes of Warhog. Common Getrix is still there as well. Certainly Smidsy has done brilliant work for me once again. Smidsy knocked out of the heats 3 times in the past. Can they go one step further this time? Warhog's been great value, although I'm not too sure the judges will agree with me if it goes to a judge's decision against the sideboard again. I love the eyes and the tusk and the nose out there, Warhog. Did it ever really know what it was doing? Growler backs in. Warhog piggybacking again on Smidsy. Trying to take a ride through to the later stages. It's not going to work, boys. Go on, Smidsy, get rid. Wait, oh no! Smidsy would have got in the pit there, surely by itself. Very delicate driving by the Smidsy team, Mick Reed's team there. Warhog's almost gone. Surely it's trying to piggyback its way out of the pit, but it's gone. Surely. Oh, it was brilliant. That's one of the greatest battles ever.
Yeah, our axes are damaged. Did you like that fight? Did you like that fight? This is what we want. Warhog gets a piggyback ride to the pits. St. Agro was already there, so that means Smidsy and Common Getrix, they go through!
Roboteers, stand by.
In the arena for the house robots, we have Growler and Sergeant Bash.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Dominator 2, the Seeds, don't forget, number 6 Seeds. Smidsy have twice reached heat finals, but have been beaten on both occasions. But they are pushing Dominator 2 over the flame pit. Down comes Dominator's axe. I would say it is the more fearful weapon here, and it's got straight through there onto one of the tyres. Well, a lucky escape for Smidsy, I felt. I don't think the Dominator 2 team pressed home its advantage then. Could they have dragged Smidsy across the arena floor? Or did they not trust their own pulling power? Smidsy slamming Dominator 2 into the side wall. And for me, at this moment in time, Smidsy would be on top. Just seen the Dominator 2 team in there. Smidsy in underneath Dominator 2 again. This is a splendid drive by Smidsy. Onto the angle grinder there. You can see the sparks flicking away. Oh, Dominator 2, though, using the centrifugal force of that floor spinner to good effect. Get a little bit of speed up for the attack on Smidsy. I don't know what damage it caused, and Dominator 2 under attack once again and perilously close to Growler and the CPZ. Look at those mighty jaws of Growler. Has to go back into its kennel, so to speak. And now Dominator 2 gets that axe to work. The target needs to be in front of Dominator 2 for that axe to have any effect. Smidsy in flames! Away from the flame pit. Again, Dominator 2 gets that axe in. But it was a little tentative nudge, wasn't it? Didn't want to hold on to Smidsy. Letting Smidsy get away once again. Very close, this one, the Dominator 2 boys. Just see there, Chris Hall, electronics engineer by trade at the control. Dominator 2's axe comes down on Smidsy. Maybe the tactic, enough blows they think will render the electronics of Smidsy immobile, I don't know. But certainly now Dominator 2 is beginning to work up a head of steam. And it's pushed Smidsy into that CPZ. Oh, Growler! Look at that, both went into the CPZ and Growler came in with a right, raw, ripping shunt. And Smidsy now needs to get out and get out very quickly. And it's lacking power, you can see that. Look at this. He used a skid steer system, Growler. That's why it's so quick across the arena. Bam! And Smidsy's taken the worst of that. And I think this second round has been turned on its head. I think that damage sustained by Smidsy has cut its power and pace, and Dominator 2 can now grapple. And the whole thing's changed for me. Smidsy is in trouble. And they were well on top. They backed onto the flame pit. You can see only one side seems to be working. They're on fire at the end. It'll go to the judges.
Good fight. What a fight, too close to call. We're going to have to go to the judges while they make up their esteemed minds. Let's see the highlights.
Craig, no doubt for me. Smidsy on top early on. In underneath Dominator, worrying, nagging, stylish and aggressive, causing damage. Down came the Dominator axe, but not with any great effect. But that's where it all turned. Into the CPZ. Good driving by Dominator 2, driving Smidsy in there. And from there on, for me, Dominator was on top.
The judges have made their decision. Style, control, damage and aggression, that's what they were looking at. And they've gone for Dominator 2!
From Leicester, in Leicestershire, something.
Hardly a clean machine. Good, it'll need to fight dirty here.
From Maidstone in Kent, Smidsy.
Vulnerable to axes in the past.
Yes, Smidsy, you've done quite a bit of work to this robot, haven't you?
We've changed the side armour a bit, changed the front a bit.
So they've worked on it?
Yes.
Have you worked on it?
We have actually, unprecedentedly, like completely stripped it down to every single nut and bolt.
Yeah.
Put it all back together again using mainly grease and whale blubber.
And then it didn't work?
No, and it's not broke down in testing once.
Smidsy, four-wheel driven, tough, has multi-purpose front jaws with razor-sharp blades. Something has circular blades, or an axe is a low-tech fighting machine.
From Belmont in Hereford, ex-Terminator.
Once a UK Championship semi-finalist.
Mini Morg.
No great pedigree there.
Right, trying to get the story of why these two teams got together as one tag team is almost impossible. We've got lots of different versions. You met where?
Junction 7 of the M5.
Yeah, and then you decided to become a team because of...
Well, they can drink as much as we can.
And the real answer?
Local weaponry.
We were the last ones under the table together.
Mini Morg has a simple rollover design with CO2 flipper and spinning disc. Exterminator, four-wheel driven, a scuff steer robot with an axe weapon and self-riding mechanism.
Roboteers, stand by.
Let's have a look at the team. Something there on the left, the captain, Mr. Dig, and Smidsy captained by Mick Reed. And the Mini Morgan Exterminator team, the two captains on the right, Dorian Cordy and Marlon Pritchard. In the arena for the house robots, we have Shunt and Dead Metal 2.
3, 2, 1.
So the basic rules, if you're in trouble, you can get tagged by your teammate. You have to go back into the area to get tagged. Rules? Ha! What rules? S.M.I.D.S.Y in there with Exterminator early on. S.M.I.D.S.Y on the attack, pushed back by Exterminator. Down came the great pneumatic axe. And already you can see something getting in on the action there. Immediately they get out in support of Mick Reed, S.M.I.D.S.Y. Something in there with Exterminator. We haven't seen Mini Morg yet. Exterminator danced away. There's Mini Morg waiting to see if it can get tagged. Top of your picture. Now can come into the action. Out flies the yellow peril that is the barrel-chested Mini Morg. Back into the action comes S.M.I.D.S.Y in underneath Mini Morg. It has a 1.5 centimetre ground clearance, Mini Morg. That is dangerous. S.M.I.D.S.Y trying to get there. Its weapon, the rear disc, 12 kilos of weapon there, 200-mile-an-hour carbide tooth, spinning rear disc into play. Down comes the axe of Exterminator. Shouldn't really have got into the action there because Mini Morg was the chosen robot out into the arena. But as I said, you can forget Queensbury rules here. They do not apply. And Exterminator has the Mini Morg up on its front. Listen, they're all out there now, I think. Something being chased around. There's S.M.I.D.S.Y again on the Mini Morg. How can you keep up with this? All into a devil's brew of ill-disciplined, demonic, destructive power of robot ears. S.M.I.D.S.Y has pressed the spinning disc alarm. There you can see it just over the shoulder of Mr. Dick spinning away. The house robots will enter the fray if anyone goes into a CPZ, a quarter patrol zone, or if they see anything amiss, if they see too many robots into the fray. And Dead Metal is trying to slice into the axe mechanism of Exterminator, slamming down there with a pickaxe onto the top of S.M.I.D.S.Y. If one robot in a tag team is immobilised, dumped out, thrown out, pitted or whatever, the other machine can fight on. A lone vigil. And they need to come up with 2 knockout blows because a judge's decision would automatically give it to the team with 2 robots left. And, you know, that could happen here because I think something is about to be counted out. We're also running very, very close to time. Will it be counted out before cease is called? That's the big question. I think they're out. And cease they called. It means something and S.M.I.D.S.Y are out, are gone. He doesn't know yet.
Exterminator and Mini Morg. They get through. The Welsh have done it.
From Banbury in Oxfordshire, Hypno-Disc.
3 times UK Championship Grand Finalists.
Right, Hobbs. What's the battle plan?
Well, the battle plan has started. An hour ago, we've been watching our opponents laying on armour for the last 2 hours. But our plan is to win.
Yes.
A massively destructive weapon, once the most feared in the war zone, backed up by a 10mm aluminium checker plate chassis, aluminium rear armour and a hardened 6mm aluminium disc cover.
From Maidstone in Kent, S.M.I.D.S.Y.
Twice a heat finalist in UK Championships has never gone beyond that stage.
The S.M.I.D.S.Y team, sorry mate, I didn't see you, that's what it stands for, they're all bikers.
Yep.
That challenge belt, you know, I was thinking that would look good with all your Viking leathers on your bike, wouldn't it? Getting off at the pit stop, you know. Do you think?
Yeah.
Can you see that on you?
It wouldn't fit on me. I could fit on Robin, yeah.
A 4-wheeled invertible design built to be tough with multi-purpose front jaws tipped with razor-sharp blades and a 12-kilo, 200-mile-an-hour rear disc, but it has been unreliable in the past.
From Chertsey in Surrey, Dan Tompier.
Previous
UK Championship semi-finalists.
Yeah, out of all of the things that happen to you in Robot Wars, what do you hate the most?
Spinners.
Who are you not happy to be with?
2 of them, Hypno-Disc and S.M.I.D.S.Y.
With top speeds of 20 miles an hour, this is a fast, agile, full-pressure flipper with a proven track record for its design and construction. A very hard-hitting machine.
From South Ockenden in Essex, Sir John Belmont.
Stylish and fun, but they also lose, just as we've begun.
As ever, immaculately turned out. Such a nice whistle.
Thank you very much.
Chroma-Lot team. Very nice indeed. Now, you're up against S.M.I.D.S.Y. Dan Tomkia and Hypnodisc. Not very nice.
It's not a problem for us, Philippa.
Nilo problemo.
It's no problem at all.
Likes the hair, by the way.
Thank you.
Philippa, they're up against the class act. You must remember that. You must remember that out there.
No, I never forget it.
The class act.
I'm never allowed to forget it, yes.
I've got a soft spot for you. Here it is. Jonathan Pierce, I've got a soft spot for you as well. It's called a swamp.
Oh! Oh! Shh!
Ha! They say they're Jonathan Pierce proof, razor proof, bomb proof. They're not. They are very experienced and they do have a very quick CO2 direct high-speed lifting machine.
Roboteers, stand by.
Let's see the two teams. Dan Tomkia, basically the Lambert family on the left and the Rose family and the Hypnodisc team on the right. There's the Sir Cromalot boys, Steve Merrill and Ray Tate on the left, and Smidsy, captain by Mick Reed, on the right. In the arena for the house robots, Matilda with the lifting tusks. And there's Mr. Psycho with the claw, the hammer, and a very bad attitude and breath.
3, 2, 1.
Watch for Dan Tomkia with the first assault there on Smidsy. Smidsy low centre of gravity, but a 1.5 centimetre ground clearance. Could prove vulnerable. Look at Hypnodisc. Under pressure from Dan Tomkia immediately. And Hypnodisc slammed into the CBZ. 3 times UK Championship Grand Finalist, but in all sorts of trouble. Gone. Out. In the CBZ, under pressure from Dan Tomkia, Mr. Psycho came in, had a look. Dan Tomkia flew in for a second attack, and out they went out of the arena. Hypnodisc gone. Their chance of fighting for the challenge belt is over. 2 machines survive this opening melee. Down goes the pit of oblivion. Dan Tomkia needs to get away from Mr. Psycho. Could literally crush it in that CBZ. What can we see of Sir Cromalot and Smidsy? Nothing much, because Dan Tomkia is having all the trouble from Mr. Psycho. Get out of there. Don't try and take on Mr. Psycho. He has a long reach and an even longer memory. Smidsy's, for a minute, right underneath that hammer, I thought. Sir Cromalot, very good steering here by Steve Merrill and Ray Tate. Basically what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen, is running away. They're just running away from trouble, trying to keep out of trouble. It may well serve them well in the future. Smidsy's under pressure and flipped by Dan Tomkia with a full bottle pressure flipper. Can act as a powerful spinner as well. Smidsy, well, meeting a sandwich there from Dan Tomkia and Sir Cromalot. Some nifty work by Sir Cromalot until Dan Tomkia flicks it over. Self-righted though, that's basically an American truck wheel hub you're seeing there. 25mm thick alloy shell on Sir Cromalot. They are a stylish and fun team. Great competitors as well, Steve Merrill and Ray Tate. We love them, really. Ha! Boy, heck. Now, his machine is out there, Sir Cromalot. Dan Tomkia is pushing it away. Across the arena floor, Smidsy, living dangerously, flirting with the floor flipper, which is easy to say unless you've been out for a night on the tiles with Steve Merrill and Ray Tate. Well, nothing's easy to say. Smidsy in the CPZ is overturned. Mr. Psycho looks on. What is that flailing chain on Sir Cromalot? What is that all about? Is that a weapon? Is that something that they wear down the nightclubs of South Ockenden in Essex? I'm not too sure. They've been overturned in the corner. Smidsy's flung up in the air. There goes Matilda on those bling-bling boys from Essex. The Sir Cromalot Steel boys. They're out! Matilda caught them with a flywheel bottom, which is rather a grisly thought for anyone. In they go, and Sir Cromalot tossed away like some loose leaf in the autumn fall, and they've gone. So we're left with 2 machines to fight on. Smidsy and Dan Tomkia. There's the fallen knight of the realm, Sir Cromalot. They've arrived in the war zone by helicopter and plane in the past, and limousine, Sir Cromalot, and they'll leave, well, in a trash can, really. Dan Tomkia and Smidsy, cease is called Fight On.
Roboteers, stand by.
In the arena for the house robots, Dead Metal, look at that saw blade spinning. And Sir Killalot's out there. His eye is on you.
3, 2, 1.
I'd have to go for terahertz here because of the power of the axe weapon. Look at it. Beating like some manic metronome onto the top of Smithy, but hitting the arena floor. The pit release button has been depressed. Oh, they're slicing in onto the exposed tyres of Smithy. It has been vulnerable to axe weaponry in the past, Smithy. It's backing away tentatively. Look at that. It is absolutely mad, that terahertz machine. Hyperactive, they call it. And Smithy desperately trying to get away. Robin Bennett driving, look at that. Absolutely hammering into the protective armament of Smithy. Smithy can't do anything, really. It has been absolutely mullered out there. Terahertz have destroyed Smithy. They can't get going. Look at the axe. They'll push Tornado very hard if they can get that far. They've still got to beat Dan Tomkier. There's no question in my mind they'll beat Smithy. Is there any question in your mind? Basically, Smithy, you need the arena floor to collapse and terahertz to go down a very, very big, black and endless hole for you to stand any chance. Smithy and Robin Bennett driving, if I was you, find the pit of oblivion and fall into it. Look at terahertz with the axe. There we can see, just spinning away, hopefully, the Smithy weapon. You can get up to 200 mile an hour, that carbide tooth rear disc, upgraded for these championships. It's not causing any damage to anyone. Terahertz has backed away, the job has been done. The ref bot starts his count. And Smithy finished. Terahertz, frightening. The crowd counts along. That is not a bad machine. Twice a heat finalist in UK Championships, Smithy. Destroyed by terahertz. We could be seeing something very special, not from the Smithy team, but from terahertz. Smithy onto the arena floor flipper for fun, frolics and frivolity. Through the air, 100 kilos of war zone killing machine that didn't actually kill much, but was destroyed. Look at that, ripped, bent and buckled. And Sir Killalot about to push Smithy down into the pit, where hopefully a robot ambulance awaits.
West Sussex and number 13 seed, Smithy.
Number 13 seeds, unlucky for some.
Main weapon looks to be a big
spinning disc, four-wheel drive for pushing, and the jaw for lifting. It's not a flipper, but it just lifts people's wheels off the ground so you can push them around, because the best weapons in the arena are the house robots. So we just push them towards house robots and let them do the big damage.
Four-wheel drive invertible with an 11-kilo disc and windscreen wiper motor-powered lifting jaw, both ends dangerous, the sides and top are weak. It is fighting in a Fifth Wars campaign, experienced.
From Arley in Worcestershire, Atomic.
Back for a third tilt at the title.
What does Atomic do?
We've got a high-pressure flipper on the front, and it's designed for ramming as well, so it's pretty powerful.
What do you not like facing in the arena?
Ooh, after last time, I think discs, because they can seem to do a bit of damage to us.
Did you have a bit of a nasty experience with
the
discs?
we had to fight hypno discs, so a bit of a mess.
Wedge-shaped with a variable high-pressure flipper and 24-inch spike at the rear, aggressive, reliable, 750-watt powered. It's never been out of the heats before, though.
From Milton Keynes in Buckinghamshire, Cygnus X1.
Mustn't swan around in its first Robot Wars.
What have you actually flipped with this robot?
A couple of concrete blocks, 3x2 concrete blocks, which weigh 18 stone. So we can hold 18 stone in the air.
That's pretty good. What do you most dread in the arena?
The pit. Definitely the pit, yeah.
You don't want to go down the pit, lads?
No, definitely not, no. We're going to steer clear of that if we can, but no promises.
Simple, don't drive into it. Has a 10-bar CO2-powered flipper, 600, 700-watt motors, a wedge front, good armour. An unknown quantity, though, I think.
From Lewis in East Sussex, Terror Turtle.
Some turtles are endangered species. This one is.
So this, I believe, John, is Terror Turtle.
Yes, he is.
And
this is him.
What does he do?
He has a spinning disc, which will hopefully induce terror in his enemies, or else terror in us if it doesn't work.
Boys, are you looking forward to the fight?
Yes.
And are you really scared to get into the ring with the other robots?
Sort of.
Sort of nervous, yes. You don't want them to get damaged.
No.
The fiberglass shell is decorative and dodgy, runs both ways up, armed with a 45cm, 9 kilo spinning disc. The big wheels are exposed. This could turn turtle.
Roboteers, stand by.
To the teams then, the Frizzell family and Terror Turtle there on the left, with Dad John, Cygnus on the right, captained by Richard Comfort. S.M.I.D.S.Y on the left, their captain Robin Bennett, and Atomic on the right, their captain Stephen Bebb at the back with the hat. In the arena for the house robots, Dead Metal, with the pincers and the circular saw, and this shunt with the bulldozer blades.
3, 2, 1, activate.
We have green for go. And the seeded machine there into the centre of the arena. Low and dark black S.M.I.D.S.Y. Watch out for that. And the flipper of Atomic as well. A high pressure flipper. Bashes on, crashes away. The turtle running upside down at the moment. It is invertible. Someone's in trouble there. It's Cygnus. Cygnus flipped onto the side, and Atomic got themselves too close in, which allowed Terror Turtle and S.M.I.D.S.Y to come in on the attack as well. But Cygnus on its side. Its first Robot Wars and experience, and the turtle's gone out. Well, we expected a great display. It was super. Turtle super. Out it goes. Bang. They've gone. Cygnus on its side. S.M.I.D.S.Y very effective, and Atomic as well. Look, a little bit of a tag team there as they chase Cygnus. What's happened to S.M.I.D.S.Y? The seated machine on its side. Could Atomic get in and thrust them out of the arena? Could we yet have a surprise? If Cygnus can rock down and get away. Atomic perhaps couldn't get another shove in though, because Shunt was too close, and down comes the Shunt axe onto the S.M.I.D.S.Y armament. And they get 2 from these remaining 3. Will fight in round 2 of this heat. Still Cygnus in major peril, and the Repot's got to go in and have a look. The wheels are turning on Cygnus, but there is very little life in there. The S.M.I.D.S.Y team we just saw looking on, I thought this would come. The Repot's going to count it down and out. A little bit of movement, but nothing much. Oh! S.M.I.D.S.Y thrown into the air by Atomic. Now, they could be meeting again in this heat. Cygnus out, S.M.I.D.S.Y and Atomic through. And if they do meet again in this heat, they have to be the final, of course, now. There could be bad blood if S.M.I.D.S.Y is fit to fight again. They've been craftily positioned on the pit by Atomic, and there's very little life left in S.M.I.D.S.Y there. Thank goodness for them. Terror Turtle and Cygnus went before them. S.M.I.D.S.Y and Atomic through. S.M.I.D.S.Y only just. And now, let's tidy up the war zone refuse. Drop, 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 drop is the cry. Will it be flipped? Will it be squished? We'll wait and see. It's a squishing moment on Robot Wars, the 7th Wars. Cygnus, new to the arena, new boys, debutantes. That's what you get. What on earth was that came down? Television, I think.
Cease.
We'll throw anything at them. They're used to being on TV. Now they're under it. Bash. Well, strong enough to survive that, but unreliable, weren't they, motor-wise?
Roboteers, stand by.
In the arena for the house robots, we have Mr. Psycho. Sergeant Bash there too with a flamethrower.
3, 2, 1, activate.
Head to head, bang! Straight into the action, Smidsy, with the lifter and the disc as well. Mean Streak has 4 spinning discs, let me remind you, spinning at 3,000 RPM with titanium teeth in there as well. Any extremity will be crushed, mashed, and spat out. But Smidsy looks to be the more control. Robin Bennett driving as software engineer by trade. Steve Bennett is at the weapons controls. Very experienced, this team. It's the 5th time they have fought a wars campaign. And pushing Mean Streak very nearly into Sergeant Bash, then going on and nearly meeting the House Robot themselves. Sergeant Bash has to stay back in the CPZ, but now a robot has come in to his home. The spinning disc slow, they're okay. A great bash by Smidsy, getting in underneath the ground clearance of Mean Streak. 4 centimetres that ground clearance. I said at the start of the programme I thought that would be exposed. A little bit of a flame from Sergeant Bash. Bit of a nibble. Is that damage caused to Mean Streak? See if the ref cam can get in with a closer look. If he gets a chance. Smidsy pushing Mean Streak towards the pit, towards the angle grinder there. Good control into the CPZ, where of course we know... Oh dear! Psycho, give us a wave. Till he gave us a hammer. I tell you what, Mean Streak, that's no mean feat to get away from that. But the pit would ascend. You've got to get away, get away, get away! Go on, run off! Maybe half of their controls or the tyres are damaged. They're not running freely, are they? That's for certain. Can get up to 15 miles an hour out of the 800-watt motors. 4 horsepower, Mean Streak. Oh, bit of a sauna. Smidsy on the side panels. Police riot shield armour, as we heard, protecting Mean Streak. It is the same armament, as Jane was saying earlier on, to the side panels for our war zone. Smidsy has the lifter. They're trying to force 99 kilos of machine out of the arena. It's on its side, it won't get down from there. Smidsy have won this. No way back for Mean Streak. They won't be able to self-right from there. It's an invertible machine anyway. Not technically a self-righter. Oh dear. Well, for newcomers, I think they've done well. Derek and Martin and Jonathan, the team from near Huddersfield. But they're out of Robot Wars, the 7th Wars, and the seeds of Smidsy go through. Well, you don't want to see this, do you? Plucks it up. See it bending and buckling. The outer skin of Mean Streak, the claw of Mr. Psycho. Drop, drop, drop. He wants. Not too sure he's going to get that. The Mean Streak team look on its side. Pit, 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 drop, 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 they're calling. It is, of course, the floor flipper. Nearly bouncing all the way out of the arena. Skittering away, skidding. Oh, just staying in. They enjoyed it, so did we. But it's Smidsy the stronger. Still no relief. And release for Mean Streak. Now the sergeant's gone in. Oh, this is too much. No, this isn't sportsmanship. This isn't nice. This is horrible. And lovely. And downright despicable. Below the belt. Dirty. Cynical. And we want more. Down the pit.
Cease. Roboteers, stand by.
In the arena for the House Robots we have Dead Metal. We have Growler. We have Pits of Peril.
3, 2, 1.
We have Flights of Fancy. We have a terrific heat final. S.M.I.D.S.Y needs to dodge, turn, run. Draw Atomic towards the pit, towards the house robots. This is how grave I feel for the seeded machine. You can see why. Atomic flipping. But don't forget, S.M.I.D.S.Y is invertible. You can run both ways up. So normal flipping won't cause major damage if the electronics inside are well protected. The more aggressive Atomic, certainly. Look at this. Bang! But if S.M.I.D.S.Y can hang on, how long can the high-pressure flipper remain working to its full potential? And if that's a tactic S.M.I.D.S.Y will use, keep running away. Wear Atomic's energy down. Of course, the judges will be marking Atomic high, and at this stage, S.M.I.D.S.Y low. Another thrust, all the work being done by Atomic. Very good display here. Oh, it's all over! A very, very good display by Atomic. And the seeds have fallen. Always on the cards. S.M.I.D.S.Y had to keep dodging and ducking and diving. And they took the big dive instead. Very experienced. But they simply couldn't last with Atomic, who were beaten in the heat final in the third wars, beaten by a very good machine Hypnodisc in the fourth wars, and have turned in a very sound display here in Robot Wars, the seventh wars. As the S.M.I.D.S.Y team can only look on and wonder what hit them.